Police deal with conflict and disputes on a daily basis. Unfortunately, these seemingly from the outside minor types of problems can actually cause people some great distress. The knock-on effect of that is obviously that people's health can suffer quite dramatically. Some of the disputes and conflict that cause the most concern and problems are issues that from the outside can appear fairly minor. Some of these issues are, for example, issues over boundaries, parking, neighbourly disputes, dogs, children, these kind of things.
Conflicts, misunderstanding, ignorance, intolerance, lack of confidence, unhappiness.
I think for me, the major reason for conflict is clash of lifestyles. Kids playing football tends to aggravate the elder generation rather so than the younger generation. Elderly people upset the younger people by the persistent complaining.
Well, it impacts on different people differently, but it can involve all sorts of things. Depression, stress, anxiety, increased sleeplessness, self-harm, isolation. It can make people drink more or take drugs or smoke more, and at the extreme end it can cause severe mental health problems and increase suicide risk and ultimately suicide.
One means that Cumbria Police have adopted in relation to these types of disputes is to try and get in early and to try and get mediation at a very early stage so that these problems don't get worse and so that people do not then suffer the consequences of this type of issue.
Being able to talk to each other, finding some kind of middle ground where you can start working on and hopefully resolving your differences and coming back together.
Yeah, the health benefits of conflict resolution is that it puts power back in the hands of people, quite surprisingly, and it works. It's a very simple process and people find their own solutions to problems, and once they've done that once, they realise that they can do that in other situations as well. It's a way of equalising power between parties, and it basically raises self-esteem for people and stops them having all the detrimental effects that conflict can have upon them.
Terrible